Salutations! Welcome to the newest edition of the Lewis and Clark Trail Museum, the Pat Henry Room. This room is dedicated to Lawrence Henry, more commonly referred to as Pat Henry. He actually went to school in this very building when it was still a school here in Alexander. After graduating, he then went to Fargo College for civil engineering, which he graduated in 1941. You can see his college yearbook right here. Not only was he a civil engineer, but he was also a well-known photographer. You can see quite a few of his pictures here and on the walls and all throughout this room. He also got quite a few awards for these, which you can see lined across the window here, and a couple of his ribbons over to this side. Now, if you'd like to see more of his photos, you can actually flip through these books here and here, and you can flip through his book that he wrote right here. He also owned a lot of cameras. Every single camera that you see here in this shelf was actually owned by Pat Henry. You can read individual information about each one while you visit here at the Lewis and Clark Trail Museum. But not only was he a civil engineer and a photographer, he was also an avid hunter and loved the wilderness. So you can see a couple of his firearms here, as well as some pictures of him hunting with a young boy, as well as his hunting licenses for a couple of different years, and a little bit more of his tools. Speaking of tools, we have quite a few of his drafting tools right over here. You can see an entire case full of drafting tools that you saw right as you entered, including some architect templates, metal architect drawing tool, some compasses and different drafting tools here in a little case here. This was actually very common for a lot of drafting, and a slide rule. Now, drafting is the art of making maps or diagrams, which is a lot of what he did. So you would use a calculator in order to get the right dimensions and size, as well as using this wonderful machine. It's called a drafting arm machine, in which it would clamp onto the edge of a table, and you could maneuver it around to get as straight of lines as you need. But the most important tool that he had in his arsenal was a surveying transit. He had actually quite a few of them. We only have two here, but he would use these in order to figure out the dimensions of the landscape that he was surveying. And oftentimes they would be paired with this. This is a surveyor's tripod. We actually have two of his surveying tripods, as well as a rod ruler used for measurement purposes. There's a lot more information here in this room than we could ever possibly fit in this video. So please come on by and visit the Pat Henry Room here at the Lewis and Clark Trail Museum.